Welcome to the Release Show. I'm your host, Brittany Sconyers. On today's show, we have a powerful woman, Pastor Andria Hudson. She is an acclaimed speaker and mentor who has risen to national prominence by delivering an empowering message of hope and healing. She is the founder and CEO of Ash Enterprises, Inc., a lifestyle brand of mentorship and empowerment for business and the arts. With over 25 years of theater experience, she has produced several theatrical stage productions, giving countless opportunities to actors and actresses around the world. She is the author of several books, including He Saved the Best for Last, The Power, Life, and the Passion and the Price. As a woman of style and elegance, she is the founder and designer of Ashland, Chicago, an apparel, jewelry, and home goods brand. Let's welcome Andria.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you, and so are you.
Thank you. To open the show today, we'd like to know why you chose to become a mentor, a coach, and a public speaker. What attracted you to this path?
Yes, so I always tell individuals that usually what you're doing in your adulthood and what you have a passion for usually can be traced back to your childhood. So
Yes.
I'm the oldest of 7 children. As God would allow, that I would be the oldest, the leader of the pack. And so, of course, being the oldest and having that responsibility of really being there for my siblings. There's 4 girls, 3 boys. We're all like 2 years apart. So we're very close in age and we're very close knit. And so having that responsibility of leadership at a very young age, I believe it groomed me to have a desire and a passion to help people. And so even in my childhood, even in my teenage years, people were always drawn to me. I was always thrusted into leadership positions at a very young age. And it never left me. I still love helping people. I still love assisting people to find their purpose, to help them in any way possible to locate their passion and what it is that they are passionate about to do in life. And so I love what I offer through my business, mentoring and coaching, and then, of course, public speaking, because that's another outlet. That's another avenue of empowering people. It's another avenue of uplifting people. So it started very early, of course, from the womb, being the oldest, and then it just followed me throughout my entire life. And this is what I'm doing 24/7, and I love to do it.
That is incredible. Market data reveals the motivational speakers market to be $1 billion industry worth $1.9 billion. Why do you think motivational speakers are in such high demand by the people?
I believe they are in high demand because people are looking for inspiration. They're looking for inspiration. And I believe especially now more than ever with everything that's going on in our world, people just need encouragement. They need to know that they're not alone. They need to know that whatever it is that they're facing in life, that there's someone that went through that. There's someone that not only went through it, but overcame it. So I believe that motivational speaking will always be in high demand because human beings are always looking for inspiration. They're looking to relate to someone that's just like them.
That's great, because that's the reason why I started my show, is that I wanted people to release their stories into the atmosphere to inspire other people. And I think it's incredible. Motivational speakers, I love motivational speakers. They really encourage me. I've listened to many of them, and I always connect at some point with them. And I like for people to keep me going, because sometimes you get in that space where, you don't want to do anything, but if you turn it on and listen to a motivational speaker, to motivate you to get back on your feet, to keep moving and follow your purpose.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And when I need a little push, when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, which is natural as a human being, I'll definitely go to YouTube and find some of the people that I love to listen to. As a Christian believer as well, I'll pull up some great sermons, and in an hour, I see the difference within me emotionally and mentally.
Yes.
So yes, motivational speaking will never go out of style.
I agree. As a professional, what do you think the future will hold for motivational speakers market? Will it continue to rise, decline, or find balance?
I believe it's going to continue to rise. In fact, I think that we're seeing a surge of young motivational speakers. We're seeing a surge of young poets, young spoken word artists, which is all a part of that umbrella of motivational speaking. In fact, I have taken time to even mentor some young adults, some teenagers that already have a passion of public speaking. And so I think what's going to happen now is that it's going to rise, and then we're going to see a nice balance where we're going to see young people motivating young people. Mm-hmm. And of course, the rise of women, which is exciting. Yes. We're going to see more female motivational speakers. I definitely see that and anticipate that for the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to see more women find their voice and really speak to the issues that women are facing and have faced for decades. So yes, it is something that is very exciting to be a part of. And again, it's finding your voice and using your voice to uplift someone and empower someone.
Yes, and I can't wait to see these women walking the stage and empowering women all around the world. Let's talk about your corporation, Ash Enterprises, Inc. What's the story behind this establishment?
Well, before I went into full-time entrepreneurship, I worked in corporate America for years. I had my first corporate job when I was 15 years old. And I've always loved to work. I've always loved making my own money. And I worked in corporate America for years, as well as got my bachelor's degree in political science. So I knew that I was going to work in the arenas of government and the legal profession, which I did. But I always knew that I was called to entrepreneurship. I always knew that I was going to be a full-time entrepreneurship. And so after many years of working as a paralegal, working for corporations and law firms, I decided to take a leap of faith and just literally dive into entrepreneurship. And it was definitely a leap of faith. I didn't know anything, and the year that I started my business was the year that it was around 2013, 2014. So social media was really kind of coming into play and being heightened at that time. And so it was learning of what to do with social media to enhance your business and to promote your business. Of course, several years later, I probably would have done some things a little differently. But I always knew that I was called to make a difference through my business. So Ash Enterprises is the acronym of my name, Andria S. Hudson. My middle initial is Simone. My middle name is Simone. And so God gave me the vision. He gave me the vision of using the 3 letters of my name and calling it Ash Enterprises. And enterprises meaning that we would offer like a lifestyle brand. We will offer many things. And that's kind of like who I am. I love to do many things, and I love to do them well. You have some individuals that say, yeah, I dibble and dabble in this, and I do this, and I do a little bit of that. But what we have honed in is really empowering individuals for the ministry and the marketplace. So those of you that are business owners, those of you that are in the arts arena, because I've been in the arts arena for decades now. So we do script writing, we do stage productions, we empower actors and actresses, young children that want to be actors and actresses. We have, events for women. We have a lot of events for women, of course. And then the coaching division, and then the public speaking division. So it is a corporation that empowers you and empowers the whole you. So not just one aspect of you, but we offer coaching and mentorship for your financial literacy, for your emotional well-being. We also offer webinars on social media marketing and branding. These are things that I love, things that I have really allowed myself to dive into and to master. So yes, 7 years later, we're still going strong and we're enjoying it.
That's incredible. So is it virtually too?
Yes. So of course we had to make a pivot last year in 2020 to offer pretty much everything virtually. Prior to 2020, we did a lot of in-person classes, seminars, conferences, stage productions, all of that was in person. But last year we made the pivot to go completely virtual. And it's actually one of the best decisions that we've ever made. It literally is, because now we're really reaching people across the world. We were able to even reach a young organization in Africa on last year virtually. Yeah, so we are excited that we are pretty much a virtual corporation and we are empowering people across the world.
That is incredible. Just like with my show, I wanted to do like in person too, right? And I was going to start it in February of last year, and then COVID happened. And so I'm like, no, I still want to fulfill this dream. I've been manifesting this for a long time, And so then God gave me the idea to do it virtually. And I thought it was incredible because you get to connect with people all around the world. I've had people from Kenya, from India, all around the world on my show. So it's incredible. I like the virtual platform.
Yes.
Besides being a great speaker, you have a history in the entertainment industry as well. Can you tell us why you chose to walk that path?
I wrote my first stage production when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
It was a summer and we were on school summer break, and I was bored. I was literally in my room bored. and I always knew that I loved, movies and drama, and I would do scenes in my head and act them out. But that summer, when I was bored in my bedroom, I pulled out a tablet and a pencil, and I wrote a full script. Mind you, no one ever taught me how to do it. No one. No one taught me how to write a character and then a sentence or line of what they said. That came to me very naturally. And when I was done, I showed it to my parents, and they said, "Who taught you that? Who showed you how to do that?" And I said, "I don't know, I just did it." And they said, "You have a gift." They read the script. They couldn't believe that I had written an entire script. And what I did at the time, it was bold then, I took the script to my parents' secretary, because my parents are in ministry, they're pastors. And so I took the script to her and I said, "I wrote this. Can you type it up for me?" She said, "I would be honored to." She took my script, read my script, typed it up professionally, gave it back to me, and she said, "You're going to go very far. You have a gift, Andria. This is amazing. I can't believe you did this." And ever since then, God began to open up doors for me where I began, again, I'm a child. That was at 11 years old. My parents saw the gift in me. So at 12, they said, how would you feel about doing a Christmas production for the church? And I said, okay. What to do or anything. Yes. So I held auditions at 12 years old. I held auditions after one of our worship services, and I auditioned children, and some of the adults came. And again, I wrote a complete script for our Christmas production. Everyone came, everyone enjoyed it, and we began to do stage productions every single year. Wow. And I never stopped.
Wow.
the love for it has even developed more. So I know that you become even more creative when you really tap into that vein. And so I've never stopped, and I'm in my 40s now. So I've been able to work with some of our great Chicago actors, and I love working with raw talent. I love working with individuals that really want to get on the stage and do it, but just need a little coaching. They need a little push. And I love working with men and women like that say, you know, I've never done this before, but I've got this drive, I've got this passion, because I can identify myself with them. I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I had that passion. So it has been an amazing journey. And so what we're doing now is we're trying to be a little bit more creative, because we cannot assemble ourselves in the theater at this time. So what we have done the last year is we've released our previous stage productions virtually on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and again have reached thousands of people that we would have not normally reached had we had assembled ourselves in a small theater. And so we've got some things in the works that we're going to try to do virtually this year and going forward, but we're really excited about it.
That's amazing. What I like about you is that you found your purpose so early on in life, because sometimes it takes people to their 40-something years old to find their purpose, right? So that was incredible. Wow.
And I felt to mention that I took the script at 11, and when we returned back to school in the fall, I took the script back to school and I showed it to my friends. And I said, hey, look what I wrote. And they read it and they said, yeah, let's act that. You can act that role and I can act that role. And it was just, you know, it was amazing. I remember it vividly like it was yesterday. That's when I knew that I had this innate, which is of course from God, that I had this innate desire to uplift people through the stage. So everything that I do is to empower and uplift people. And I love it. I really love it.
You're definitely empowering people around the world. Definitely. What's the most memorable project in your 25 years in the entertainment industry?
Wow. Oh, okay. So if I could narrow it down, and there's been some great moments, but if I could narrow it down, it would be the last production that we did before the pandemic hit. And that was in a production entitled Leading While Bleeding. And that was a very special production. And all of my productions that I've done have been very special to me. But that one was especially special because it was at the biggest theater that I had ever rented or performed at. It was at a theater in downtown Chicago. And again, we had a sold out crowd, which we've done before, but to have a sold out crowd in a large theater, which was the biggest theater that I had ever had a stage production at, really just made me, I literally was in tears on opening night. I stepped on the stage and saw the balconies. Because as a little girl, that's what I envisioned. I envisioned having a stage production where there were double balconies and seeing all the people stand to their feet clapping at the end of it. And to have that experience was like a feeling of none other. It was literally one of the best feelings and memorable moments of my life. And I cherish that. I know that it's just the beginning. I know that there's more, but to see that manifest really did something to me. And it's like, yeah, you got to keep going. You definitely have to keep going.
Congratulations. Thank you. You took your creativity another step further when you decided to author several books, such as He Saved the Best for Last, The Power Life, and The Power and the Price. What made you want to become an author?
So again, it's the love for writing, which I've been doing when writing plays. And so I knew that if I could write a script, I could write a book.
Of course.
And so it's the discipline. You know, I tell individuals all the time that want to become authors, it's just finding your voice and then disciplining it, because it takes time to write a book. It's a certain level of discipline. So in 2013, I wrote my first book, He Saved the Best for Last. And that's a book of empowerment for singles. So I actually share my single journey as a single woman, and some of the things that I went through, and some of the things that a lot of people go through as singles, and waiting and being patient in the process. And it took time, but I disciplined myself. And when I was able to finish it and actually give it to the publishers, again, it's a feeling of accomplishment like none other. And so I think that once you do your first book, you have a certain level of momentum that you want to keep it going. So I authored my second book, The Power Life, a few years after that. And then last year, I authored the third book during the pandemic, during COVID, while we were quarantined. I put in my mind, I was going to do this book, I was going to complete this book, and I was going to release this book during the pandemic. And God gave me the passion, and he gave me the drive, and we named the book The Passion and the Price. And that was released on last year.
Congratulations. And I want to piggyback on something that you said. You have a passion for writing. And when you have a passion for writing, you want to continue to go. And that's how I am. Like I started, I wrote a book about my life, right? And then I had my daughter, and I fell in love with children's books, and I just really wanted to like do children's books. But instead of putting my name on the book, I decided to put her name on the book so that she can start this legacy herself, right? And so now I'm working on two books at one time. They both are different for her too. So it is so true that when you have a passion for writing and inspiring people, you will continue to produce, and it'll feel great because it's something that you're passionate about. It's not taking any time from you. It's like something that you're passionate about, so you want to do it, you're driven to do it, you're not stressed doing it, you're excited to do it. So
absolutely. So congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. Of all the books you've ever written, what two are you most proud of?
I would say, and I love all three books, and we've also done some ebooks as well for mentorship, but I would say, oh wow. Okay, so last year was really special because, I did this book in the pandemic. We couldn't really go anywhere, and I was making some pivots in my business to take things virtually. So that one was very special for me. But if I were to say which one was the most special, it would have to be book number 2. And some individuals that know me would probably say, well, why would book number 2 be your most special book? Book number 1 should have been the most special book because it was the first one that you did. And you talked about your single life. And it was, and it still is. But the reason why I say that book number 2, The Power Life, was the most special is because God gave me the grace to complete that book while I was going through breast cancer. And that's what, and I'm even kind of getting a little emotional now, but he gave me the grace to complete that book while I was going, and that was in the year of 2018 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer from a routine checkup, totally normal, nothing wrong, and had a routine checkup, and then a couple biopsies later and was told that I had breast cancer. And so I had started the book the year before, put it off, and then decided to pick it back up and finish it during that year where I had my lumpectomy, where I had radiation, where I had doctor's visit after doctor's visit, but I finished that book. And that's why we call it The Power Life, because it's a 365-day devotional that gives you a power quote and a power scripture to help you throughout your year. And so I would say that one it's probably the most special out of all of them.
by God's grace, wow, you were able to do that going through breast cancer. So are you a clear of breast cancer?
Yes, in full remission.
Yes.
Have been in full remission since at the end of 2018. And God has been faithful to us. I have my checkups every year. Everything is still fine, still going strong. It's been a blessing. It has definitely been a blessing.
Praise God. Procrastination is the reason a lot of people do not fulfill their purpose in the world. You recently did a webinar on defeating procrastination. What inspired you to do this webinar?
Yes, that webinar was hot. I enjoyed teaching that webinar because it's been one of the thorns in my side. And people that are watching, they'll probably say, well, how can you say you procrastinated? It sounds like you've done everything. No. I mean, it took me confronting procrastination to write a book. It took me, confronting procrastination to continue to do the things that I love to do. Because procrastination is a thief, and it lies to you and paints this false reality. It paints this false reality and tells you that you have time. That you have time and keep putting things off because you have time. In reality, you really don't have time. Time is so fleeting. And as we can see, we're already in the 4th month of the year. So the time that we think that we have on our side, we're really forfeiting it when we continue to procrastinate and delay and put things off and think that we can just pick it back up and everything will be fine. But I told my students on this week that when you procrastinate, it steals your momentum. It steals your momentum. It steals your time. It even steals your energy. Because when you do decide to do a task or a goal that you keep putting off, you're not going to have the same grace that was allotted to you for the time that you were supposed to complete that. You're now working harder instead of smarter. So if it's something that you love to do, something that God has shown you, something that you've dreamed about, even little things like cleaning up your bedroom, or throwing away old stuff, or cleaning out the trunk of your car. You keep putting it off. When you do decide to do it, you're going to find yourself like, oh, I can't believe you're going to find yourself dreading it. You're going to find yourself tired. You're going to find yourself you have no energy when you could have done it when you needed to have done it, and you would have had the energy, the time, the grace, all of that to do it, in working smarter and not harder.
That is so true. And that's one of our core values at work, is working smarter, not harder. One can see that you are a woman with a lot of ambition. With all that you do, how are you able to create work, fun, life, and balance for yourself?
Intentionality. Intentionality. I refuse to be burnt out. And I've been burnt out. When I was working in corporate America, and climbing up the corporate ladder and all of that, and still trying to balance being a wife and also being a leader for our church, I was probably the most burnt out at that time. So I'm very intentional about work-life balance. So I make sure that when I need to rest, I rest. And that means not looking at my phone, which sometimes can be a chore to put the phone down, because you call it resting, but you got the phone in your hand and you're just sitting there, scrolling and answering texts. That's not resting. But right. Is resting the body as well as the mind. So I totally believe in self-care. I believe in taking a day just for yourself, taking an hour just for yourself. When you feel that overwhelming feeling coming upon you, you don't ignore it. I tell people, listen to your body. I've learned to be in tune with my body. I've learned to to understand what triggers me and what excites me, and when I do need to put work aside. Even though I love doing what I love to do, you got to know when to put it aside and just enjoy your life. Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy your time with your spouse. If it's just you guys just curled up on the couch watching TV, it's fun. It's taking your mind off of your work and deadlines and meeting. And I think last year in the pandemic, it taught us the importance of self-care. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until last year. Because when you're in the grind, you're moving, you're going here, you're going there, you're speaking here, you're speaking there, you're doing this, you're doing that. And it's wearing on you physically, mentally, emotionally. And so last year I got some great rest because I wasn't on the road speaking, I wasn't on the road traveling. I realized that my body was pretty exhausted. And so I even took that and maximized that. The days that we were at home quarantine, I maximized those days. Still working, but also taking time for myself and just doing nothing. So self-care is the important care every day, all day. You've got to take care of yourself.
That is so, so true. The pandemic did the same thing for me. It's like picking up the kid, going to work, picking up the kids from school, dropping them off, and you were so busy and you didn't realize it until that was all taken away from you. And you had to sit in a house and quarantine and only could go out and get groceries and things like that. And so it really taught me a lot. My husband and I, we spend a lot more time together now. We have these shows that we watch every week, and that's how we connect with each other and have that time together. And I think it's incredible. I think it's grown our marriage. I think it's grown our connection as well. So definitely agree that 2020 was a gift and a curse, I think.
Yes.
And, sorry for all the people who lost their lives, but I think a lot of good came out of 2020 as well. I've spoken with a lot of people who businesses flourished during 2020 when you thought maybe they would have closed. And I think it's the mindset of the person who is the entrepreneur. So when you plan and you have things in order, you're able to progress, and also keeping God first in everything that you do, because He's going to provide for you even when you think that you can't get things done. And so He will place the people in your life that you need to help you get through these times, and people have to understand that. And I think 2020 really taught us a lot. And if you really focused on 2020 and understood the importance, you should have came out of 2020 more powerful than you went in. And so I will say 2020 opened up my eyes in many aspects of life, and it really, really empowered me to want to do more, to connect with more people, to get out of my shell because I'm an introvert. And so it's really, really opened up some doors for me too. And 2021 has been, rocky too. We've gone through some things in 2021, and as long as we keep our eyes on the prize,
yes,
we'll get through all of this. The storms are going to come, but you just have to be strong enough to get through it and know the sunshine is going to shine again in your life. And so if you have that kind of mindset, you'll get through these times in your life. And I think anybody who's experiencing mental illness and all those kinds of things, because I know that happened in 2021. I know a lot of people got depressed and lost their jobs, but you just have to call on the people, tell people, talk to people. It's all about talking and connecting with people to help you get through the things that you're going through in your life.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you.
Thank you. So let's talk about another business of yours, Ashland Chicago. What inspired you to start this?
So I have a home goods line entitled Ashland Chicago, and it's our candle line. We have a full candle line. We also have a greeting card line where we do greeting cards, we do candles. We've also done apparel. We've done jewelry. And this, again, because I love fashion, And I love to look good and smell good. And my husband and I are candle lovers. So, we love going to the stores and just buying candles in bulk and bringing them home and lighting them and just, having candles around to have the house smell nice and have a warm feeling in the house. And I talked to someone and said, I think I want to do a candle line. And she said, well, I do candles. And I said, you do? And she said, yes. So we partnered and we launched Ashland, Chicago in 2019.
Okay.
2019. And, we had to make some adjustments last year because of the pandemic, but we're relaunching actually this month of April. We're relaunching our line. We got a new look. We got some new fragrances. We're adding body butters and things for your body as well to that. So be on the lookout for that. That is going to be launching in April of 2021. We're relaunching.
Yes, congratulations. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Lastly, what advice do you have for people out there who wish to accomplish specific long-term goals, but don't know where to begin?
Start somewhere. Start somewhere. Procrastination tells you, I don't know where to begin, so therefore I won't begin. You've got to start somewhere. If you want to become an author, write a page, write the title, list the chapters. You've got to start somewhere. If you want to start a business, write a business plan. There's so many things that we can do that are at our fingertips now. You can Google business plans. You can Google things on the internet. You can look up things on YouTube. There's really no excuse as to why you cannot start. You have to have confidence in your vision and confidence in your dreams and realize that it won't get done unless you start somewhere. Even if you don't have all of the money. I didn't have hardly any money to start my business in 2013. I just began to do things. I just, went online and registered the name with my state. And then I, began to ask around, well, how do I get it incorporated? And different people were sending me documents and for me to read and everything. I just started. I just literally just began to start, research, ask people around you, get connected. There's no excuse. You have to have confidence in your dreams and in your vision. And if you say, I don't know how to start, that's procrastination. That's not what procrastination is telling you, that you don't know how to start. You can start somewhere. And I believe that when you begin to take that small step of faith, you're going to get more encouraged to take more steps of faith, because then you'll be able to accomplish that. And that will show you that you can accomplish the next thing. And once you accomplish that next thing, then it'll give you more ammunition to go for the next level. You have to start somewhere and believe in yourself and have confidence in your dreams and in your visions, and know that the world is waiting on you. The world is waiting on you to produce this. We need what you have.
Thank you for that powerful advice. Please let everyone know how they can purchase a copy of your books and follow you on social media.
Absolutely. You can go to my website at AndriaSHudson.com. That's spelled Andria, the letter S, Hudson.com. You can purchase my books. We also have other digital webinar packages that you can purchase. Defeating Procrastination, we just finished that one. That one will be available on my site. We also have another one that we talked about fear. What are you worried about? Because a lot of people, have been in fear in this pandemic. So we did a webinar on that. You can purchase that one as well. And you can follow us on Instagram at Lady Andria. We're on LinkedIn at Andria S. Hudson. We're on Facebook at Andria S. Hudson Enterprises. We're on Twitter. So we're everywhere.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and I look forward to seeing more of your work in the future.
Thank you so much, Brittany, and the Release Show. It has been an honor to be on your platform, and thank you so much for the invitation.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for tuning into the Release Show. See you next time.